Welcome to my channel. My name is Cassie and I am the owner and creator of Creations by Cassie. So today I wanted to take a moment and show you guys how I wrap my sublimation cups to get these beautiful images on your tumblers. So here's another one. This one was a super easy one. And then this one is one that I created for a customer that wanted the characters of Outer Banks. I think it turned out great. I did add some glitter with epoxy later because she wanted a little glitter. But I'm going to show you guys how I create these and then how I wrap them. So hope you enjoy. So first thing is first, and you need your image. I've got a few images that I've already created here for a client, and some of these images you can find on, on Etsy or other places and pay to download them. I actually create mine, and we are going to be using a 20-ounce sublimation cup. You do need the sublimated tumblers. You cannot use the stainless steel tumblers for what we are doing. So I'm going to show you the difference. This is a stainless steel. You would use this if you are epoxying or using resin or spray painting, anything like that. That's what you would use this one for. This is actually called a sublimation, and it has a coating specifically designed to be able to infuse or pull the inks off of your paper. The other thing that you're going to need, and gosh, I don't have everything with me, is sublimation printer paper. I am going to do another video that walks you through everything that you need, so don't worry about that. This one is more just to show you how I create the images and how I wrap the tumblers. But I am going to be using the sublimation paper. It's pretty inexpensive. You can get 120 or 110 sheets for, I think, like $13 or something. And I get this off of Amazon. So I'm going to be linking everything that I'm using. I'm going to be linking all of that down below for you guys to reference, okay? So I'm going to show you guys how I create my images first that's going to be wrapped on my cups, and then I'm going to show you exactly how I wrap them, and this is how it's going to end up before we put it in the oven. Okay, so I will share with you the dimensions that I use as well, and if you have any questions, feel free to drop them below and I am happy to answer them. Okay, guys, my little secret is this application called Canva, and again, I'll link this below. What I'm going to do is start with a custom size here, and I already have a template, but I'm showing this for you guys. The size that I use for my 20-ounce sublimations is 9.35 in width and 8.25 in height, and this is inches, and then I'm going to create the design. Once you create this, then you can always copy this template and use it again and again and again. So here you can start your design. So for example, Wonder Woman. So I am going to go to Google and I search up Wonder Woman. Wallpaper, or you guys can use SVG, and you get all kinds of great images here that you can use. So we can pull this and start designing our cup based off of what we like. So I like this one. This is a great one. So I am going to copy this image, go to Canva, and paste that in. So this can be kind of the start of my cup, and you can have something on one side of your cup. You got to think about how this wraps around your cup, and then something else on the other side. Or we could pull this all the way like this and make our background black or red or any colors that you want. Okay, so this is the image I ended up with, and I really like this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to download this, and I'm going to change this to SVG, which is a sharp vector graphic, which really pulls those colors out nicely. And then I'm just going to open up my Microsoft Word document. Okay, and in Word, I am going to insert my picture from my file and insert here. All right, I am going to right click this. I'm going to go to size and position, and I am going to make the height 8.25. And it changes my width to that 9.35, 9.36, and click OK. Next, I am going to go to position and pick the first one here so that I can move this around on the paper. So this tells me what this is going to look like once it prints. And then I am going to print. And I do have a setting on my printer. You are going to need a sublimation printer with sublimation ink, or I have the Epson 2800 and I have just put sublimation ink inside of it. The settings that I have for this, let me show you what they look like. It is, the medium type is premium presentation paper matte. It is a high quality. And then the color options I have here. So I have very vivid, Epson Vivid. The brightness is at 9, the contrast is at 7, the saturation is at 15. And you may need to adjust this based off of how your prints are printing, but that is the recommended setting that I found on other posts that I have set mine to. And then we are going to print. This is my Epson, it's the ET200, and as you can see, it has the echo tank, which means it comes with the ink and you can place the ink inside. What I did for this is I did not use the ink that it comes with. I purchased sublimation ink and I filled the tank with sublimation ink instead. And so it's going to take a moment to print. I do have my settings, and I forgot to show you, get this set to print mirrored image, which is very important. When you print for sublimation, you want to make sure that your image is printed in the mirror setting. Now you can do this on Word, or you can set your printer to do it for you, and I set my printer to do it for me because I always forget. To set your printer to do the mirrored image for you, what I did was I went in here and I went to print settings, and down here you see the checkbox mirror image. So as long as you have that set, and I saved this setting, you can see my preset is saved as new sublimation mirrored. So every time I print with that printer in that setting, it's going to print my images mirrored, which is very important. One other important thing to note is whenever you are using images, especially if you pull them from Google or anywhere, you have to be extremely careful with copyright. So if you see anything that you notice, like Disney characters, like Wonder Woman, football, anything that is familiar to you, most likely they are copyrighted. Now, the rule of the game is you cannot sell anything that is copyrighted, but you can gift it, okay? So that is the difference. Now, I create my own images However, I am using images off of Google, therefore I cannot sell these. I can only gift them. But just word of note, that is a key thing to remember. Now, there are some websites, and I'll link them below, where you can go and get free images that are not copyrighted. And I pull from these websites quite often. Okay, so now I have my image, and what I want to do is cut off the white trim from this. So I'm going to try to do this as straight as possible. And the size that I have on this does leave a little room for error because I do trim off some of the image when I do this. Okay, now we have our image. I am going to take my sublimation cup, and of course you can clean it and wipe it to make sure there's no debris or anything on your cup. I like to flip it upside down, and make sure you flip your image upside down and wrap it this way. So you do need heat tape, I think is what this is called, and I got this little nifty device, so it makes it easy to give me tape. And what I do is I will stick this on the bottom first and pull it as tight as I can, like that. And it kind of gives me like the basis, so then I can make sure that everything is lined up. And then what I do is I will push the paper and pull the paper to the top. Another piece of tape here. And I do it this way so I can use the tape and pull it. So I'm pulling as tight as I can. And then I just wrap it around the corner there. So now I have, oops. Okay, now I have my basis. Now you want to gently pull it towards you because you want this to be as tight as possible. So I am just pulling it. And you do have a little extra that hangs over the other side. So this is not gonna be, it's not gonna line up exactly, but it's okay because of how we made the image. So now I'm gonna take a piece and put it in the middle here and pull just like that. So you have it snug here, here, and here. Now we are going to work on this seam. And let's start here. And pull it tight. And then I can just work straight down the cup. Okay, so, and then I just run my finger along that seam to make sure it's nice and flat. Sorry, the dog's scratching at the door. Okay, then the top here, which is why I started upside down so that it is level. I will just add my tape here, push out any bubbles, and flip that tape over the edge nice and tight. Just like that. Make sure there's no little air bubbles. Speaking of, I do need to go get my nails done. I have not had my nails done since all this COVID quarantine started. I think it's time for me to treat myself. Okay. And all the way, so there's a little air in that one right there. Just make sure you push it out. And then you have the top wrapped. Now you're going to want to do the same thing on the bottom. The bottom is a little harder because you can see where it tries to fold. So this is always the hardest part for me. Do you see how it does right there? So what I try to do is just try to push those out as much as possible when I put this tape on. This is where me having my nails done would come in handy because I'd be able to push those out a little better. Okay. Now you will probably try this method, you'll try a different method, you'll find something that works best for you. I've tried a few different methods since I started sublimation, which has not been long ago, and I am still learning, but as I learn, I want to share with you guys what I've learned along the way, because I ran into struggles of trying to find out how to do this or how to do that, so thought it would be helpful to make these videos for other people that may be struggling like I was. Okay, so I don't think it's possible to get all of these out. If it is, let me know your tricks, because I have tried everything. Okay, this one is a pretty bad one. Just want to keep pushing them out. Sublimation is probably my favorite. It's a lot easier than epoxy, of course. So my rule of thumb is if you're wanting glitter, you're gonna need to use epoxy. You're gonna need to use a stainless steel cup. If you don't want glitter and you just want like a high resolution image or pictures on your cup, use sublimation. It just makes life so much easier. I had started out with just stainless steel cups and people wanted images on their cups, so I was printing those out on vinyl paper, cutting them out, epoxying them on, and it was such a struggle. Okay, so I still have some little bubbles here. We're just gonna push those out. Okay. And you can keep working with that, but this is pretty much what your cup will look like. And there's going to be one more step, because this is usually the hardest thing to work with, is the seam. And I still get seams on mine. And then also you want to make sure that it gets your edge real good, and of course down here. So I use painter's tape, and I don't wrap my whole cup, so I'm just going to use a small piece. And where your seam is over the other one, your edge is laying over the other one, that's where I put my tape. And then I pull as hard as I can towards me, and then I lay it down. So this is just going to apply more pressure right here, and on this top edge I will wrap that around. I'm going to do that all the way down, so just a small piece. And it's okay if your tape overlaps. It's heat. Heat is going to get in there regardless, so you don't have to worry about your tape overlapping. Pull towards you. Okay, and then the bottom I'm going to wrap all the way around, because the bottom is my struggle bus. And I try to make sure some of that tape is over the edge a little bit so I can wrap it around. All right, so we're just going to pull tightly. And as we're pulling, we're pressing. Don't have to worry if you get little wrinkles in your tape. It's fine. It's not a big deal. I totally did not wrap that around the edge all the way, but you're going to press around that edge. And then do the same thing at the top. Okay. Now our cup is ready to go in the oven, and it goes in a convection, I hope I'm saying that right, convectional toaster oven. And I'm going to show you guys mine, but this is what it looks like. And I have 2 more ready. So we're going to put all 3 of these in at the same time. Okay, this is the toaster oven that I have. It's make sure it's a convectional toaster oven, and it's a Black & Decker. It's the extra wide one. I wanted the extra width, and I am just going to turn this on so it preheats. I have it set to about 350, 360, but I also have a thermometer in there. And what I do is, and the reason why is because these ovens, even though they have settings on them, the temperature inside can range, which can affect your tumblers. I have burnt a few, and some didn't. The colors didn't turn out right. So you want to, this is kind of important, just so you know what the temperature really is on the inside. What I do is I preheat it, and I wait until it gets to 350, and then I put my cups inside. Okay, so my oven is ready, and I'm actually going to put all 3 of my cups inside. So what I do is I don't put the seam down. I actually put it on the side, which is one of the reasons why I have this tape here. Remember when we started wrapping, this was the first piece that we did, and that shows me where the seam is, and so when I come in here to turn it, I'll know exactly where to turn it. So we're going to set the timer for 2 minutes. Alexa, set 2-minute timer and leave that in there for 2 minutes, and then we're going to rotate it and set for another 2 minutes. Okay, it's been 2 minutes. I do have a heat glove, and I am going to completely rotate my cup so that my tape is pointing to the other side. And we're going to leave it in for another 2 minutes. We are going to turn this off. I love that ding. And take our tumblers out. Now again, you may need to adjust your settings and everything based off of your convection toaster oven. And what you really want to see is you should be able to see the image kind of popping through when you take this out, and it's super, super hot. So we are just going to take these out and set them to the side, let them cool for a second, and then we are going to remove our paper, and fingers crossed that it is what we are looking for. So be back in just a minute. We are ready to unwrap, and I'm going to save the Wonder Woman last because that's the one that we did together, but these are the other two. And what you want to do is kind of start where your tape was, of course, at the top, and then you can just peel the paper off. And because it's on there tight, sometimes it can be a little hard. And I'm doing this while it's still warm. Sorry for the dog. I have like a mini farm in my house, it sometimes feels like. And somebody just walked by, so of course the dogs are barking like crazy because they think they're guard dogs and they're harmless. Okay. So, oh, it's like so exciting to see how this turned out. So I did have a little bit of white that showed here. But otherwise it looks pretty good. I think this is the hardest part. Oh, look at this one. So the bottom, not that satisfied with. I've got some white spots there. So I might shift things around with how I am putting the tape on the bottom, because you can see where it folded a little bit. So, but look at that one. It turned out beautifully. Otherwise, there is just a little white there. So if you guys have any tricks, please share, because I am still learning myself. All right, so here we go. We're going to take this one off. This one is a music one that somebody wanted, and the background is all black, so I'm not sure how this one is going to turn out. I do have a little bit of a seam there, a lot of bit of a seam there, actually. There we go. So this is the music one, and again, my bottoms I need to work on. Look at this. So I got to figure out a better way to work on these bottoms, and there is my seam. I don't know why that still turned out white, but for this cup it's okay. Okay. Now let's see how our Wonder Woman turned out. So something else that I want to try, the ink, the sublimation ink that I use for my printer is off of Amazon, but I've heard a lot of people talk about Cosmo, I think is the name of it, which is supposed to be really great sublimation ink. So when I run out of this one, that is what I want to get. Okay. So the bottom of this one turned out pretty, well, got a little bit here, but I can't tell if that's part of the image or not. So we're gonna shine this up a little bit. The ink looks just a little dull. So what I use is a Lysol wipe. Just your Lysol wipe. You could also use a baby wipe. And we're gonna wipe these down. And as you wipe them down, the color comes out just a little bit more. So that is my process. And as you can see, it is not perfect. I'm not perfect. We're not perfect. And we are learning together. So the more you do this, the better you're going to get at it. I am still somewhat of a beginner, but it doesn't affect my clients coming to me and requesting cups. So this one was a request, and it's going to be a very special cup for her, so I'm excited about it, and clients love it. They don't seem to mind these small imperfections, because I do tell them in advance that because these are handmade, there could be small imperfections. As with anything, we are human. That's just the way life is. This one I am not very happy with, but she is probably going to be ecstatic with it. So I don't like this. A little thing that you can do, if something like this bothers you, you can take alcohol ink and some little pads and come in here and kind of clean this up, and then you would want the resin on top of it. But I am going to message her and get her thoughts around this one. Let me know what you guys think, if this was helpful at all, if there's other videos that I can make that would be helpful for you guys. And if you have any tips, if you are into sublimation and this is what you do and you can help resolve this issue, let me know. I have tried several different things and I struggle with this part right here. I am slowly getting better with this theme here, but again, practice will help you improve, and I appreciate you guys joining me for this video, and I really hope that it was helpful. Thanks for watching.